All right, happy
Great.
second live Instagram live.
This is our second Instagram live. We'll wait for some of our friends to join us, but if you're already on, we did our first live, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Was it pre-COVID, during COVID
No, like
time?
after COVID, almost like 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time is going by so quickly. Super quickly. Well, thank you all for joining us. I will introduce myself. My name is Yosef. I run a nutrition and wellness company called FitLab, the fitness laboratory, where I do personal training, I do nutrition, and I also do mediation. This is my good friend Yalda. We're not going to call her Nurse Injector Yalda. We're not going to call her anything else but Yalda, but we want to introduce her. We want her to introduce herself to us.
Yes, as you said, I am Yalda. I was born actually July 16, 1983. I was born in Iran, and I moved here when I was 18, November 2001. So
Wow. Okay.
right after September 11,
Yeah.
yeah. So I finished high school in Iran, and then my family decided that we should come to America, the land of opportunity. So here we are, 20 some years
Wow.
later. Yeah, and time goes by so fast.
It really does. Wow, I didn't think. Okay, I've known Yalda for maybe less than 5 years or so, and I didn't know that she just came here from post 9/11. So I'm so glad, and I think all of her patients and her friends and family are also super glad. We do want to note the craziness really that's happening in Iran. I don't want to talk about anything politics, but we're sorry for the situation that is happening. I think good things are going to come from it.
Definitely, always.
So we always keep a positive outlook. And
Regardless, no matter what.
yeah.
That's one thing that my husband has taught me. Even the situation, if it's bad, if it's ugly, if it's hard, we're always going to look at the positive side
Yeah.
of the story. So if the glass is half full, half empty, we're going to just focus on the full side.
We love it. We love it. Do we have some friends joining us? Shall I ask my good friend some questions? Is that okay?
All right, yeah, so we can go ahead starting some questions. So let me have one simple question from you, because that's
All right.
always, yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
always try to make the question simple, so
Of
not
course.
difficult.
Yes.
But, so we know each other for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And when we met was just, through social media, and I think this social media can be as positive as me and you meeting.
Yeah.
And sometimes, of course, it can have a negative effect to it. But since we have met each other, what are the things that has changed in your life? Because it's been almost 4 years. I
Yeah.
think so much has changed. Tell us a little bit about you today, and then versus you 4 years ago.
So I needed you. I needed you because I
all
was
need
looking
each
for
other, yeah.
Botox. I'm black and white. I'm an open book, so you can always ask me any questions. I'm all about the Botox. I'm all about the filler. I'm all about self-care.
I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure.
And you were the person that set that up for me. I think it was a little bit before maybe the COVID period. And somehow we connected through social media, and you completely kind of changed my face. Didn't change my face, but it just made me feel so much better about myself, and increased my confidence. I love to work out. I eat healthy. I
He really
do all those
does.
good things.
I mean,
but
no, I kudos to you. I think when it comes to nutrition, it's like one of the, a little bit of a struggle, but
it's a challenge. For many people, it's a challenge. But I like to make it as easy as possible for myself. I try to eat as healthy as possible, get good sleep, and meeting Yalda just kind of raised the bar a little bit for me. So she was able to do the Botox and do the filler all over my face, and I've been happy ever since. And she's been taking care of my face since then, and I just feel so much better.
all right,
Yeah.
amen.
And that's just like the medical side of it. Our friendship, we are super close. We have an incredible chemistry. She is totally like my sister from another mister. Is that how it goes?
Definitely.
And I respect our relationship. I love her husband, Tim. I've met her family. We're always at each other's events. I support her happiness. I support her, all of her endeavors. I was with her, long story short, I was with her at the old
Arlington office. Yeah, from the beginning, day one.
Maybe it wasn't little at all. It was a great clinic,
we can really,
right?
No, for real. Like, when I had only one room to myself.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go any smaller than one room to yourself.
It didn't feel like
thank
one
you
room.
so much.
It didn't feel like
Yeah.
one room. The first face that I saw was Jillian. She is kind of the face of Rejuvenation Clinic. Now it's this ginormous establishment with rooms on rooms and all these crazy cool things that everyone is able to partake in, especially for their skin, their body, their face, and all those cool things. So really congratulations,
Thank
because
you.
you have come a huge way. I mean, it's just been like
And I
an
can
incredible
also have
success in
access
that way.
to, like, all the questions from Instagram if you get the Instagram for me. So, well, one
So I
of the
love that.
reason we decided to, sorry, I'm just gonna have also access to Instagram so I can see you guys' question. I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
So, very short, the purpose behind this Instagram live, it's we all have a purpose here. We all here to do something, and I wonder always, why am I here? Why am I on this earth? Why am I on this globe? Do I look at it as just like a superficial, everyday thing? Like I get married, I finish college, and then I have my dream job? Or is it more than that? So I ask this question every day. Why am I here? Am I just going to come to work, be a nurse? Am I here just to make people look pretty? And I still believe it's more than that. So I ask that question every day. You know, it's whether through, being I don't know, religious, being, what's the other word they use?
Spiritual?
Spiritual, that's the word. Being spiritual, but believing in something. You gotta believe in something at least. Can be God, can be spiritual, can be earth, can be something. So I asked that question, and my goal, and I think one of the things I truly get a joy out of is serving people. I am so honored and so thankful knowing that perhaps one day I can make sure I have done things for others and make them a better person, not just in a superficial layer, a little bit more than that, because I believe we're all here for a reason, and it's not just to be a dad or a mom or a wife or husband. It's just more than that.
That's the icebreaker right there. That is going to open all of the questions to us. If our viewers have any questions that they want to share or ask, you can totally do that.
Yeah.
I think Yalda's completely open to answering them. I'm open to answering them. Of course, you knew that already. So we're going to start with our first question. I want to say, what keeps you awake at night?
So the best thing is, I do sleep really well. I got that very lucky. Opposite from me is my husband, you know. But the one thing that, if you want to put it as far as like what makes me worry before bed, what makes me like think so much before going to bed is, I don't overthink, but I always want to make sure I'm doing the right thing in life. I have to make sure if I am talking to you, if I'm inject someone, if I'm just speaking, I always want to make sure I'm doing the right thing, because that's so important for me. Doesn't matter what it is, as simple as treating my staff. As a boss, I know I have my frustration. I think I can consider myself lucky in so many departments, but then truly being a boss was never my cup of tea. I don't have children, so I don't know how to coach others. So that's truly my number one struggle. I feel like the nature of the business came to be very easy cheesy, because it came from my heart.
Bingo. Exactly.
It came from my heart. But true to God, it's been 4 years, 3 years. It's hard. It's an art behind it. There's an art behind being a boss, and I struggle in that department. Yeah.
And you didn't sign up for it. You signed up really to make people
I really
happy,
didn't,
have fun
yes.
injecting and doing and changing people's lives. So we didn't even sign up to do this.
No, and this is actually one little thing is, not only we're doing this Instagram live, I do have my Nurse Yalda virtual platform, and this virtual platform,
Sure.
this is going to be something for the future nurses that they sign in with us. They watch this video, so both camera, that's what we have on this camera, guys.
Super
I
cool.
wish I could show you that. Yeah,
Super
Claudia's
cool.
behind the camera doing her expertise in there. So yeah, thank you guys.
Oh, that's super nice. Let's say my next question is, when did you consider yourself a success? Or do you consider yourself a success? What do you say?
That's a good question. Success to me is also comes to sacrificing. Am I a successful nurse? Yes. Am I a successful wife? Yes. But in what department? Am I sacrificing like being here all the time? Am I being a most wonderful daughter? Am I missing all the opportunity that perhaps I could go see my father? So it's a measurement. Yes, maybe successful in one department, but absolutely when you want to achieve your goal, sometimes you have to sacrifice. Do I consider myself a successful business owner? 100%, because it's in my heart. I don't do it for the money. I do it for helping others. I want to make sure that, as I said, it's more than just being rich. Never, money doesn't bring happiness. We know the most successful people have committed suicide. So
does everybody know that? I think that was like an aha moment. While money doesn't bring happiness, we see millionaires and billionaires that kill themselves because we understand, not we, we've known, I guess, as an audience, that it just doesn't bring that type of happiness. They don't reach that level of fulfillment. And I think, and I don't want to put a chain, that you have such a fulfilling career here. And that's that's the best part. And I think that's the difference also between how you work, because you work from your heart. And I think that's incredibly contagious. People see that, people feel that. As I say, that energy walks in the room before you do. And I think that's what's most attractive of you, as like on the patient side and on the client side. And I think it feels nice. It feels really, really nice, I think, as a patient as well.
Thank you.
Let's see, do we have any questions from the audience that maybe the audience wants to share?
Now here comes my question.
Uh-oh.
How do you measure success, and what do you think could make how do you differentiate between someone successful and not successful?
Is this question for me?
Yeah, that's a question for you.
So I think we all measure success in a little bit form of financial as well, because people want to give you the type of respect according to your success.
Yes,
because why do we give doctors and nurses so much respect, but we don't give maybe the janitor or the cafeteria staff person that success? But I like to gauge it also on fulfillment as well. I think that's the number one thing, how happy you are and how fulfilling you are to maybe somebody else's life. In my personal life, I think the more that I serve people, because I always like to call myself like a servant of the people, the more that I serve, the happier I am.
Amen.
And I feel like in time, if I'm meant to be a billionaire, then that will come for me. If I'm supposed to be a millionaire shortly, then that'll happen for me as well. But my number one goal is not the financial part. I think it's more serving the people, because I think people need each other.
People need each other, absolutely.
So it's a huge thing. It's a very huge thing.
The very first thing that came to my mind yesterday, and I shared that with my staff, I was like, guys, let's do one thing. Let's go out of our way to really make someone's day. Really, let's focus on that. And it can be our patients, can be anybody. And I'm going to just make sure we stick to that, to truly going out of our way to help one person. And I think if through the whole globe, everybody does that and apply that, it would be such a beautiful world.
Even like with it, like this, paying it forward with Starbucks, one coffee goes a long way. I know coffee is like $5 or $10 or whatever it is, but once you pay it forward, I think that's such a good feeling. People make YouTubes and all these skits and stuff about it, which is so incredible. So something as small as a coffee goes such a long way.
And there's a beautiful movie. I don't know if you have watched it, Pay It Forward. It's a very beautiful movie.
I think I have seen it, but it's been a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a long
course.
time. Okay, we have to. Let's see what else is next for us. Yalda mentioned she's married, so she is happily taken. Her husband is named Timothy. Do you want to share a little bit about him?
Yes, of course. So I truly married the man for just falling in love with him. He's a kind soul. He's a hardworking man. He believes in just doing your 120%. There's not even doing your 100%. It's 120%. He's always smiling. He always has a wonderful attitude, and he's extremely positive that sometimes I question him. But he has made me a better version of myself. If I am who I am, it's not because of just me. I learned great things from my parents, but from the part of the world I came from, it's very different from America. Iranian culture, Middle Eastern culture is very different. So Tim was able to truly help me to get out of that shyness, to get out of that being a typical Persian Muslim girl. And it's important for women to truly believe in themselves and knowing that they can do whatever they want to do as long as they believe in themselves. And in this world, that's what he taught me. You don't need anybody. You need yourself and truly just believe in yourself. And at the end, for me, it's like, of course, believing God and knowing that I'm fine, even though if it's difficult, even though that there are times that I do cry because it's so hard. It's so hard. But he has taught me that it's just going to be okay. And if you believe in that, it will be just okay. Do you mind closing the door? Thank you so much. Sorry for interruption.
That is sweet appreciation. Wow, I did not know that. So Yalda did marry. This was not an arranged marriage. It was a pure love marriage. He's such an incredible guy. He is exactly all of those things. I can easily call him brother as well. And that's also like a takeaway as well. Something to remember is the quality of your relationship will determine the quality of your life. Something that women need to know, something that men need to know is that, and I also talk about this in counseling as well, that you two are a team. You two are in a team, and if you want to build an empire, this is exactly the recipe to build an empire. He is a fan flamer, he is a cheerleader, he is a support for her, and I know equally that she is there for him as well. And that's the balance. Many people say opposites attract, or you should be the same of this and 1, 2, 3. Whatever works for your life is going to work. And this beautiful combination has worked so nicely.
It's truly like got to be the yin and yang.
Oh, the yin and yang.
Otherwise, it's going to be yang and yang.
Yeah.
It's truly not going to work.
And that didn't make sense, yin and yang.
Yeah,
I mean, what does that sound like?
It does really, it kind of makes sense because I am like really like need someone to just, understand me. Persian, Iranian.
It's very
come
tough.
from a very strong, hot-headed culture, and so you want to be with someone not because they have money. That's the last thing you should even worry about, because if you do well together, you're just going to be fine. And that's my theory.
Yeah, that's the empire. That's building an empire, and they have a very sweet, respectful, mutual empire together. So I think it's a good takeaway as well for the young ladies and also for the gentlemen too.
Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely.
Let's see. Oh, what are your personal hobbies? I know many people see Yalda as you see her, she's also opened an academy.
Yes, I love teaching. So the reason behind teaching and why I'm so, I have such a passion towards teaching, because in any university, they put you in this category. A+ means you're smart. C- meaning you are not good, and B- is like your average, and I don't appreciate that, and I don't like that. So I feel like everybody learns differently. Everybody's is smart. We all are here with a gift. So unfortunately, the school puts you these labels, and when you're so young, these labels can truly affect you. So therefore, for me, it's like I believe everybody learns different, and I was considered an average, person. So. When you hear that through your whole life, it kind of can affect you. So to me, it comes from how do you teach? Because the goal is, there's an art behind teaching. So I always question our university. I always question how this academy system is. And unfortunately, the most successful people, if you read about them, they didn't go to college. So I want our future, whether nurses, whether your children, our children, to be successful. That's all matters, because those are our future. And the reason I love to teach is because I like to truly share my experience with them, but also remind them is like you are capable of almost anything. Just pick what you want to do and you can do it. And if it comes from your heart, you are able to do it.
That's also another takeaway, I think Selena Gomez says, the heart wants what it wants. I think when you have true passion, just like the way Yalda has, you cannot fight it. She is like a natural born teacher. She loves to do it. It comes like second nature for her. And also for me, I love personal training. It's so, not that it's easy, because people become a challenge as well, because it's not easy. But it's so fun. Nutrition is super duper fun. And it's like second nature, So I really like that. That's really nice.
No, for sure.
Your personal hobbies. That's where we were.
Personal hobbies.
What do you love to do? What do you do on a Sunday morning?
I really don't consider work.
Okay.
I love being here. I love it. But separate from being at the clinic, I love spending time now with Sophia. She's my niece. She's was born in August 1st. And I love her. So I just, at the moment, the best moment of my life is when I'm with her and with my husband and Candy. Like, I think those are my best time. But then also I love horseback riding. I've been riding horses since I was seven,
Okay.
8, yeah. So I compete. I travel the country in Iran for competition.
Oh, super
and
cool. Okay, I
I
didn't know
love to
that.
compete. I believe in a healthy competition. As long as it's healthy, I'm all about competition. So I love horses. I love it. I think it's such a good therapy for your soul. And even children with autism, they benefit from this sport because it's a true connection between you and the horse. So
Okay.
yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah,
That's
for
very
sure.
good to know. Oh, that's very sweet.
And if I'm I wish I would exercise more.
Yeah?
I mean, you
Oh,
can,
well, then.
yeah. So that's
It's
like,
tough. The balance, I think, of work and family. Sophia is a beautiful addition to Yalda's family. Her new niece, I don't think she's even 1 year old yet. Is she 1 year old yet?
no, she's 6 months.
6 months. Super healthy, super cute, full of hair, full of smiles. So, of course, we congratulate Yas and her awesome husband as well, and her mom, because grandkids, who doesn't love grandkids? So that's super sweet. And I know she takes care of her very frequently, so that's super nice. Our next question is 3 pet peeves. What are your pet peeves? What do you hate? Or maybe hate is a strong word. What's a pet peeve?
I like kindness as long as we're kind to each other. I consider myself not the kindest boss, so I'm very honest. I struggle in that department. I truly want to be a kind boss 24/7, but that's my biggest struggle. But honestly, I feel like if you put that on the side, I always want to be kind to everybody. I don't like mean people. I don't like I don't like people who bully others. I don't like that. That's when you want to say the word hate, I hate that. I truly don't appreciate meanness. I always like kindness and respecting each other and knowing that, even if it's a healthy competition, I want people who do the same thing as me do well.
Yeah.
Because the world is like full of opportunity. We are here to just, serve our purpose, and my purpose is different from others.
Yeah.
So hate is truly when people are not kind to each other. I think that's my number one reason. Maybe something bothers me is like when I see meanness.
So you heard that here first. She is a kind boss. So if you're looking to have an application, I think there's an application
That's
online,
right.
some www. somewhere. So if you want to become an employee here, she is a kind boss. I've never heard of a kind boss before, but Yalda is it. Do you all have a kind boss?
Of course, no, I'm sure
Yeah?
there are so many.
Are they?
kind
Maybe they're
bosses.
kind bosses then. Let's see. So our next question. What can you share to a nurse who wants to open a med spa? Med spas, these that we see that has maybe. Well, you can tell us what a med spa is, because
I mean, medical spas are, the concentration is health and wealth, and health and feeling good,
Yeah.
feeling good. It can be anything related to something that it's not covered by insurance, if that makes
Okay,
it easier.
yeah.
Because even if you want to get an IV, therapy, and your insurance is not going to cover that, even though it's full of antioxidant and bring hydration for you, your insurance is not going to cover that. So all the medical spa concentration is what can we do to help you look better, feel better. And my biggest advocate are women, because truly by how our hormones are controlling our life, it affects it, going back from like being through your menopause, premenopause, pregnancy. So I love taking care of women. I love to empower them. And medical spa, I think, are designed for, of course, male, female, all genders, transgenders. And at the end of the day, it's just like, what can we do to help you feel good, look good?
yeah, that is the best.
Easy
That is the best.
cheesy, yeah.
Do you have like maybe a 1, 2, 3 for a nurse? What is the first thing that a nurse should know
I
or could
think,
know?
yes,
Or
of course. I think even as a nurse practitioner, as a medical doctor, first do what makes you happy. Don't do it because you make money, because that's a number one mistake. We know dentistry is a difficult field, and we know a lot of dentists that they're truly miserable because it's a challenging job, And then there are dentists that they're very successful. So my number one advice for everyone is just don't do it because it's so cool on Instagram. Do it because you love to do it. But other than that, as long as you follow your passion and you stay consistent and you put so much effort towards your knowledge, you'll be successful. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
You have to go out of your way and educate yourself, and you have to gain that knowledge. Same thing as your phone. You change your phone constantly, so you cannot retain the same material thinking you're going to be successful. So knowing that you have to attend so many conferences, you have to go out of your way to get some training, but as long as you do everything right, you will be successful. And I love that, especially my biggest humble appreciation to all the doctors. But for nurses, sometimes it can be very hard in the hospital. It's a lot of pressure on everybody, but also specifically for nurses, that yes, this can be something that can bring so much joy to your life, as long as this is something you love to do.
That's a great takeaway, ladies and gentlemen, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. And I love that the med spa has become more of self-love for both men and for women. Of course, women, I think, rule the world. We wouldn't be anywhere without women. But I think also men matter, obviously. How do you balance being a wife and working? Did we kind of touch a little bit? How do you balance that?
The honest question, there's no balance right now, because my husband and I, we both love Kobe Bryant, and we believe in Mamba mentality. There's no balance, because you have to be obsessed with something.
Yeah.
And I am married to someone who's also a workaholic, and I think that's why we get along. We do well, and of course, I wish I could spend more time with him, but there's no balance sometimes, in my humble opinion. If you want to be super successful, you have to be obsessed with what you do.
Yeah.
So there is no balance for at least a period of time. And then when that phase is over, you perhaps can create some balance. But there is an obsession behind being successful. Same as medical school, same as law school, there's no balance. You have to really work hard and stay focused, and it's consistency. The reason people do well in school is because they're consistent.
Yeah.
Yes, they are smart. That's always a plus, but it comes with consistency. At this point, I don't think there's a balance.
Okay, we like that. Because he's also workaholic, so I think it meshes well. Their lives are parallel, and they don't cross. She doesn't ask for too much, and I don't think he asks for too much as well. So I think it's a sweet balance. If you're able to find that, ladies and gentlemen, do it.
And that's why I have so much respect for colleagues that they have children. I choose to not have kids, because I can't even figure out how to make that happen. I don't have time for myself. Therefore, how can I have children? And it's never been my thing, I would say. I love being an auntie. I love that. I love children, but I just never feel like I don't want kids. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So that's why I truly have a respect for so many female out there that they're killing it, but they're also managing having beautiful children. I mean, to me, it's fascinating how they do it, because it requires a lot to be a mommy. So I have so much respect for that. Absolutely.
That's really nice. And also cheers to parents, of course, finding that balance in being a mom or being a dad and running your own business, and being a husband or a partner and doing work and stuff is a lot of work. So kudos to those.
And
that
one
are able
last
to
thing,
do that.
as far as, for nurses, for anyone out there, mentors are so important. You have to pick a role model and truly stick with them, and have them show you the way, because they've been there, they've done that. So perhaps some of the mistake that we make, we can prevent that from just truly having the right mentor in our lives. So picking a good role model.
Let's see.
We went through all the questions.
We've been through all the questions. These are the questions that I think are fantastic for Yalda. Let's see if our friends have any other questions that they want to share.
Somebody was asking me, as far as nutrition, of course, there's all this challenge of nutrition. So what is your secret that you have been sticking with the same level of consistency with nutrition?
Nutrition, I think people think of it as some huge thing of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this? I think living a whole, well-balanced, I don't like to call it diet. Why I don't like to call things diet, or diet in general, because if we say diet, that means I'm going to go from eating my donuts and rice pudding or something, and I'm going to stop that from point A to B because that's the diet time, and then I'm going to go back to that after the diet is over. If I've lost 15 pounds or if I've got a six-pack or something like that, then we go back to that. I think the best way to do it is to make small, sustainable changes to your life. And if we are in a marriage or if we're with the children, that's something that the whole family can benefit from. Or else it's not going to be sustainable. Something small to incorporate is fresh fruit and vegetables. I don't believe in everything organic and doing all those things, but some level of clean fruits and vegetables just to make sure that they're prepared in the fridge so kids can have them. And that doesn't mean that Cheez-Its are not my favorite, because they're my favorite too, but that also creates another balance. I don't drink soda. I don't think soda is good for kids. I don't think soda is really good for anybody. Sparkling water is fantastic. We can always, put fruits in that. So there's small changes that we can make in our lives that will make a bigger difference. I always used to say, small changes, big result. So that's something to think about. If you want more information, follow me, of course, and I would love to help you. And I can share all those things too.
Well, our 30 minutes is already over.
Yeah?
This was amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
Thank
I love
everyone.
this.
Absolutely. We're so thankful, humble for everyone who always join us, love us, support us, and let's just be kind to each other and
Amen.
let's make it a
That's the
better
biggest
world.
takeaway.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Yalda, for making this happen. Hopefully we do. I get to see her on live in less than 3 years. If you have any questions or if you have any concerns, of course, you can message and follow Nurse Yalda or the Rejuvenation Clinic. If you have any questions for me regards to personal training, nutrition, or mediation of any sort, please follow me. I'm an open book. I would love to help you. And I think that's it for us.
Thank you,
I hope
everyone.
everybody has a great night. It's a beautiful night of winter. I think it's like 63 degrees
Washington,
here.
D.C., yeah,
It's cooking.
I
think we're going to
absolutely.
skip winter. I hope you are skipping winter too. And you all have a great night. Thank you all for joining us, and we're going to see you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you so much for your
Of
time.
course, we did it. Thank you. Oh my God, this was lovely. I appreciate it.
Thank
I
you.
love how our little